Oh, that's dirty. Relaxation. Good Friday morning. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today's stream, I want to go over the dev blog and maybe play a couple of matches today as well. A few things that I want to go over in the dev blog. They're talking about perk combinings and some other stuff. So I got my game up in the background. My game's on OBS. It's on nothing else. Like none of my screens have got my game on it. So I got a tiny little screen that I'm looking at that has my game on it that's going through OBS. Like it out of it. It's like a 10 by 8 little screen that I'm capable of looking at right now for the game, so it's kind of weird. I cannot play. Okay. Yay. And there's my biggest issue. So today I sent screenshots to my friend a message, and I got hit with a suspension. So for 2 days. I actually want to show you guys this because to me, I'm laughing my butt off at this. This is the first chapter to my book and a screenshot. So to give you guys an idea of this, this is all I sent. Here's my desktop point of view. This is the artwork that I sent him. Okay, this is a concept art that I paid to get done to be able to send to, like to have as concept art. And I sent him the first chapter. And immediately after, I got hit with a ban. So I jumped on LTT. I'm also going to be posting this over on Reddit, talking about how I got hit with a suspension, a wrongful suspension. Support just ignoring me. I've been trying to contact Xbox support now for about a couple of hours. So I think gameplay is not going to happen for the next 2 days because Xbox is just garbage nowadays. So that's fun. But, well, seeing that I can't log into the game and actually go over anything, I guess I'm just stuck here going over the actual dev blog, and that's all the stream is going to be today. So that's fun. What's up, Doc? Unicorn. Speaking of which, I saw your SVAC and the 60 TP. I actually got to go through and watch those. I mean, I have problems understanding you, but I'm gonna do it. 60 TP is for Chads, man. All the way for Chads. So yeah, wrongful suspension over on Xbox's side. I'm just gonna laugh at it until customer support finally gets a hold of me. But I might be able to ask Unicorn here if he can send me screenshots on. Yeah, Dar, can you send me screenshots real quick of yeah, I got that in a really dumb way too, because it's like all I'm doing is sending out like uh literally the first chapter of my book to a friend. Like I can do that on Discord and nothing happens because Discord's all like, yeah, whatever. The person didn't report it, Not to mention the like 50,000 bot accounts that I've reported on my Xbox myself. Yeah, really dumb. And the Xbox support's all like, well, sorry, we can't do anything because it's a ban suspension, so we don't have any support teams that can handle that. And I'm sitting there all like, dude, I suddenly don't want to be on Xbox right now because this is absolute BS. I log on today because it's all like, hey, I want to play, but if I send a message to a friend, I get hit with the finger. And this is what I sent to him. This is like right before the ban. That's what got me banned, is sending him the first chapter. That's not even finished. So yeah, that's hilarious to me. Anyways, yeah, Unicorn, if you can, or if anyone can, send me screenshots or pictures of the perk lists on World of Tanks and send them to me on Discord because that's what I need right now. I don't know if I have any. I might be able to go through a stream and capture that segment real quick, but it's kind of hard to do anything right now because dumb suspension. My first suspension in 15 years on this account. Yeah, it's in game. Like just whenever you're like doing a commander, I need both pages done. That's all I need is just both pages. It's like page 1, page 2. The one that has steady aim, then the one that has track mechanic and wheeled mechanic. Yeah, no problem. Or if anyone else can. Anyone that's capable of it. All right, most recent are roadmap. I actually want to look at the roadmap too. So roadmap, you know, that they're talking about adding in regiments, everything else, and honestly, the war chest fiasco, that's absolute BS because no one really cares. Because it costs so much money to do anything anymore. I'm honestly getting to the point to where I can't justify spending $60 in a game anymore. Because it's like I play Killing Floor, I play STO, I play all these other games, and whenever I play STO, it's like $50 to get like a really nasty setup is how much it costs you. Or you play Killing Floor, for instance, Killing Floor 3 just released. It's like $3 for a gun. Or $30 for like 20 weapons in Killing Floor 2. So whenever I look at games like this nowadays, I think to myself, it's like $50 for something. That is an absolute killer to me. Like, I can't stand that. Yeah, the ones that we have at the moment before the change, because I want to go over a couple, because they're talking about combining Deadeye and Iron Mace. So I have a couple of things that I want to put my 2 cents on to kind of hope that they do. And I'm going to try and today work on getting that suspension revoked because it's absolute BS on that suspension. All right. Why the rework systems? Over time, commander skills and consumables and equipment have become either too dominant or too niche among the player base. This limits loadouts varieties can make some choices feel mandatory rather than strategic. With this rework, we are exploring ways to rebalance overperforming and underused options, encouraging creative loadouts by providing a new, valid assortment of good choices and removing a single set of mandatory skills and equipment. You see, the problem here, whenever they talk about mandatory skills and equipment, Born Leader is kind of mandatory. Last Stand is optional. Steady aim at the moment in the game is currently mandatory depending on the accuracy that you have on your build. I was going to do a demonstration of that today by playing a match inside my LPC, a tank that I do not use steady aim inside my American crews, because the American crews are typically good medium tanks in terms of accuracy. So like you can get away without running steady aim on your Americans. Not all of them, but a very good vast majority of them. I was also going to go over a couple of perks that I kind of find to be niche just because they're like a one-time use. Yeah, that'd be awesome, Unicorn. Thank you. All right, introducing new choice that supports tank mechanics like autocannons and flamethrowers. Personally, to me, I find flamethrowers to also hit that niche category because currently we have the M67 Soldier and we have the Iron Maiden Senjutsu. Avoid disruption by planning a rollout to respect your current loadout choices. This right here I can completely disagree with. The way I look at it is, hey, if there's a problem and the problem is there, I don't care if you force me to change stuff, okay? Because in terms of games, you know, the examples I wanted to use today, I was going to log on to Star Trek Online and show you guys a couple of things, but I can't because of a stupid ban for, you know, sending a first chapter of my book to somebody. You know, my book's going to be free, by the way. Like, I'm just going to post it somewhere and just forget about it. Just something I'm doing as a pass. As like a, something I'm enjoying at the moment. All right, Commander Skills, expanding and refining. We're looking at both new additions and refinements of existing Commander Skills. Our first notable change opens up a skill slot for your commanders. This change would be added to the game at the same time as the other changes to Commander Skills we discuss below. We're considering an update to the 6th Sense skill. So keep in mind, 6th Sense, this is something that we've been talking about now for like 9 years, wanting this to be a part of the base game. During beta, this was a part of the base game. 6th Sense was the only perk that we had in beta as a test. And it was amazing to have. Then they removed it and made it a perk. Now, during the time that we had our perk skills that you could have like 30 plus perks in a single crew, no one complained because it was super simple to get. You could get commanders that had a free skill, which means that you had that perk taken up prior, but it did not count towards the experience requirements towards your other skills. So for instance, if it takes 10,000 experience to get a skill, your first skill is not that 10K anymore. That second skill is now your 10K that you have. So you're capable of getting 7 skills in that crew for the cost of 6 skills and experience. Making like a World of Tanks Blitz. I've played World of Tanks Blitz. I don't know if I would say that they're making it like it because the skills in there are very, very different. All right, some screenshots in there. Thank you, Becca. You are amazing, my friend. Okay, thank you. That's going to be nice. Okay, 6 Sense. That would make it. Okay, we're considering an update to 6 Sense that would make it a default ability for all commanders instead of a skill that requires a skill slot. This would ensure every player has access to this critical awareness tool without sacrificing a skill slot to this mandatory choice. So, yeah, 6 Sense is mandatory. Foreign Leader is not mandatory. It is and it isn't. Dude, Unicorn Man, take it easy. Thank you. All right, new skills, Pyromaniac. All right, here are 2 examples of new skills we are thinking about. Pyromaniac for flamethrowers, equipped tanks, and radio jamming, which affects your spotted time duration. So real quick, Pyromaniac, absolutely useless. I do not see any usability for this perk. Flamethrowers, equipped tanks received a boost to fire damage over time. This to me is a joke. There are 2 tanks in what I consider competitive tiers that have flamethrowers. I do believe that we do have the Churchill that has a flamethrower in the hall. We also have the TVP tier 8 tech tree tank that you can get that has it installed like a tank destroyer in the front. So I find Pyromaniac to be a useless skill and a waste of effort to introduce into the game due to the fact that we have less than 10 tanks in game that have this ability. Radio jamming reduces the duration your tank remains spotted. Problem here, radio jamming is going to become mandatory by itself. This will become a mandatory perk for players. Hands down, this will be mandatory. This main gun is nutty. I believe it is. So like radio jamming, this being added, they're removing mandatory perks, but then they're adding a mandatory perk. Because reducing the duration of time your tank remains spotted, that's huge. That's massive. That means whenever I pull behind a corner, instead of sitting there for 10 seconds playing around, I now sit there for 8 seconds, and then I'm capable of drifting off and flanking. All right, off-road driving is an example of a skill we are looking to rework. Currently, it provides a significant boost to handling on soft terrain, but we want to simplify and rebalance it. The process, the posted change would offer a flat 7.5% handling bonus across all terrain types, making it more consistent and easier to evaluate when building your loadout. You see, this right here is kind of dumb to me because if you look at any tank stats, you can actually see the effect. Oh, I'm zoomed in too much. That's why it's not popping up. But you can actually see the effect of everything that you're doing on any tank that you're going to be going over. For instance, I can choose pretty much any tank and go, hey, let's go take a look at this, because terrain resistance is I'm actually going to look on the right side because I'll spot it quicker. No, I will not. What? Is it because I'm zoomed in too much? Is that why I can't find it? All right, UK. We're going to go UK, and we're going to select. Let's go after a medium Centennial. There we go. Damage, blast radius, module damage, reload, elevation. I should have had this all set up prior, but I'm angry this morning because of retarded people. Terrain resistance right here. You can see that we have 0.6, 0.17, and 1.5. So changing off-road driving, I don't see the benefit of doing 7.5%, because the benefits that we get now are massive, and I'd rather leave them the way that they are for that perk, just because you're not really affecting too much. But in terms of how it goes, that 7.5% across the board, you're actually going to be getting less terrain resistance, because you're losing out on that soft terrain resistance, and you're also losing out on that medium terrain resistance, which I believe is like 15%. Yeah, current 15% increase to handling on soft terrain, 7.5% increase on medium. Yeah. on moderate soft terrain. This right here, leave it. There's no point in changing this, because if you do 7.5, that means you are nerfing soft terrain. I would say leave this, because soft terrain is already such a massive number. 1.5 right here is a massive number. So I don't see the point in reworking off-road driving. So I'm going to be, all right. We're also considering overlapping skills. A good example, merge Adrenaline Rush and Last Stand into a single skill that boosts both reload speed and commander effectiveness when your tank is under 10% HP. All right, I'm already going to stand against this completely. I'm completely against this. The reason why is because Last Stand already increases your reload by a drastic amount. You can have a 6-second reload, and the moment Last Stand kicks in, you now have a reload that is equivalent to like 4.8 seconds from 6 seconds. It is a massive improvement. Combining Adrenaline Rush, I understand that this is like a hit and miss skill for 10% remaining, HP, but this I disagree with. I do not approve of this. I actually approve that Adrenaline Rush simply just get removed, and Last Stand is the only one that we have, because this right here, that takes you from 4.8 to like 4.1 in terms of reload. So this skill would become you would make Last Stand a mandatory skill to take as your Last Stand skill. Like, this would become mandatory if they did that with Adrenaline Rush. So I don't see the benefits of doing this. Streaming offensive capabilities, these skills into a single one more powerful skill. Yes, more powerful is an understatement. That would be a broken skill, but you're a one-shot during the time that it's broken. Some skills are being removed as they are currently mandatory choices and just overpowered. Having choices which are, I like the fact that they are acknowledging that overpowered. Steady aim is in fact overpowered. Having choices which are effectively necessary means that all commanders always end up with the same loadout for the first several skill slots. We want players to have more, more viable options for these loadouts. Some examples are steady aim and rapid loading. Personally, for me, rapid loading, yeah, I agree that it's mandatory all the way. I will not fight against that. It is mandatory. Steady aim, hands down, is just a broken perk. The fact that if you apply all of your accuracy modifiers to your tank, you take, I wish I could log into the game. You take everything that you have and you put it on a single tank, you can increase your accuracy by 42% across the board. Steady aim, the reason why steady aim is so broken is because it doesn't just affect one category of accuracy, it affects all categories of accuracy. So AAT-60, wow, it's a medium tank, keep in mind, on PC, so that's hilarious. So like, you get dispersion values right here, you get after firing dispersion values is affected, turret traverse, tank traverse, moving, like there are so many things that steady aim affects that it's not even funny in our base version of the game. It's a 10% increase across the board, which means that, turret traverse is now 0.9. Tank traverse is now 10.8 that you'll be looking at. Base dispersion is now reduced by 10%, so this is now 0.32 or 0.31 base dispersion values. The fact that it affects so much is insane to me. First perk I get on all commanders is 6 cents. And then next up after 6 cents for me is Track Mechanic. Track Mechanic is a requirement for me. And then Born Leader. And then I start to do my build immediately after that, Lava Maker. That's how I do it. Rapid loading, if they're going to be removing rapid loading and getting rid of it completely, there is a very large list of tanks that are going to need a 10% increase to their DPM. The first tanks that come to mind for me are all 360 alpha guns are going to need a 1 second increase to their reload. All specifically tier 8 360 alpha guns. Basante C45, they gave it a buff a little while back, which technically I cannot consider a buff because it was a half second on each individual reload counter, giving you a 1.5 second increase to your, decrease to your reload across the board. However, it did not benefit that tank, and the moment that rapid loading is gone, that tank is going to be essentially unplayable, because it's going to be a pain in the butt. E75TS and the low also come to mind. E75TS being a fast, mobile, heavy that has moderate armor. You can get a auto ricochet frontal plate if you're utilizing your gun depression correctly. So, I mean, technically you can make that thing extremely hard to take down. But whenever you have a 10-second reload with 360 alpha, while there's 390 alpha guns in the game that have a 10-second reload, you're going to find yourself in a position that you're going to have a couple of problems and not really finding it to be beneficial, just because you're going to have a lot of issues. All right, equipment, new tools, and smarter tweaks. All right, on equipment side, we are introducing new options to support players' choice and different mechanics. Additionally, we are planning to bring a familiar feature back to all tanks permanently, enhanced target info. It's kind of funny because the moment that they removed enhanced target info as a base game mechanic, the fourth equipment slot, I was immediately sitting there all like, hey, you know what? It's like, you never gave us a fourth equipment slot. You gave us an option to remove a game mechanic to benefit from something else. Like, that is not funny to me. This is not an option that I can remove. This is mandatory because I've been playing the game for, 7 years with this as a mechanic. Why is this being removed as a mechanic? So to me, this is a joke. Previously available as a piece of equipment, previously available, I'm sorry, can you please rephrase this? Originally, this was a game mechanic that we made into a piece of equipment. So due to our incompetence, we made it optional. All right, this functionality, outlining target tanks, will return as a default. Okay, at least they say will return. There's using return. Not changed, return. So at least they're acknowledging it here that it used to be a default feature for all vehicles. This change ensures that all players benefit from improved targeting clarity without needing to equip or unlock anything extra. This also means that all vehicles will have their fourth equipment slot freed up. So since the fourth equipment slot is going to be coming into the game, they're going to be adding in new equipment, reinforced internals and improved gun cooling, which I think is just that's a Cold War joke, and reinforced internals. Nice to see that. They're also going to be adding in the 10% modifier to health, which is nice. So you're going to be seeing a lot of different builds finally pop up. But I see a big problem with them freeing up the fourth slot, just because we have camouflage that you can equip to your tank, which gives you a massive boost in terms of concealment. Vishaw has a video of it talking about all categories. I can't remember how long ago it was that he made this video. Hold on. Throat's drying out a little bit. Gotta get some liquid in me. But he went over the amount that tanks were affected inside that video. I'll try and find it and see if I can I'll probably post it in a community tab for anyone that wants that reference material. But the fact that that slot is now becoming open is a problem, because that means that now you're going to have stealthier heavy tanks. Some people are probably going to sit there and be like, what do you mean stealthier heavy tanks? Well, here's an example. You're playing on Mountain Pass and you're doing the cross. You're doing an aggressive cross. Usually you get spotted out at 380 meters inside your heavy tanks to 390 meters inside your heavy tanks. But now your concealment is sitting at about 380. Which means that you have a much higher chance of getting across that Mountain Pass crossing section that normally you get spotted out at. Much higher, because you have concealment on your tank, which allows you to play a little bit more aggressive at range to relocate and adjust properly. That's something that they're not thinking about, is that concealment might become a mandatory piece of equipment on heavy tanks to benefit from aggressive movements at the very early beginnings of the game, so you can't be crossed out at the very start of the match and be punished for crossing. So that's the way I've been looking at it. Along with that, you're going to be able to fully specialize into your gun, spotting, and concealment. That's a problem. Okay. Reworked equipment. All right, some existing equipment being reworked. Clarity. They were talking about enhanced gun lane drive. Yeah, advanced gun lane drive also being tuned down slightly as with its aiming speed bonuses reduced from 12% to 10% to align better with accuracy enhanced options. So this one, people were kind of like, I don't understand why you guys are doing this. I completely approve of 12 to 10% because this affects artillery. Artillery that use gun lane drive is now going to be slightly nerfed in terms of accuracy, losing steady aim, and losing a little bit of aim time. 2% is not exactly a large number. We're talking about maybe a 0.1 second decrease, or even a 0.7 second decrease in terms of how much they are losing. So it's not going to be drastic for how this works. Just anything that has a really long aim time, that 2%, you will see the effect, but primarily you're not going to be noticing it. Consumables, small change but big impact. While consumables will see further changes and tweaks being considered could have meaningful gameplay effects. The enhanced fire suppression, all right, hall patch kits, smoke screen. All right, roll up velocity, respecting your time. All right, so real quick right here, this entire segment here, I'm going to disagree with this entirely. Where in the absolute is the free in-game consumable recharge timer? That's something I've been talking about for a long time, because this is a joke. People who are free to play have one fire extinguisher, they have one med kit, they have one repair kit. The moment that repair kit is gone, they can no longer repair their ammo rack, they can no longer fix their gun, but people who are willing to spend the extra silver in-game have a hand over fist massive advantage compared to free-to-play players. The way that I look at it is base consumables, base game consumables need to have a 90-second recharge timer, and the effect of having that 90-second recharge timer means that you benefit from no percentage bonuses from the equipment. As long as it has a recharge timer, that is a fair and balanced dynamic that should be introduced into the game. This to me is a joke that they are not mentioning base game repair kits and med kits being reusable. This is a joke to me. Beyond a joke. All right, roll up philosophy, respecting your time. No full resets, still valid current skills, equipment, yada, yada, yada. Like, they've already covered all this. Refunds will be issued, final thoughts. Did I miss the combination of skills? Okay, I think I did. Or it's in a different post. June 2025 results, July 2025 criteria, last chance overhaul season. No, I guess I missed it. I read everything out. Okay, here it is. I did skip it. Another is combining Deadeye and Iron Mace would enhance the module damage, reduced penetration, launch over distance, with the goal of streamlining the offensive capabilities of these skills into a single, more powerful skill. I disagree with this. Deadeye and Iron Mace should be separate. The reason why they should be separate is this. Iron Mace allows the IS-7 to have the same penetration as the Valor at tier 10 as the Valor at 500 meters. And as you get closer, you still maintain that same penetration as the Valor. So your 303 or 307 penetration that you have on the IS-7 is equivalent to 326 standard pin at 500 meters because of that skill. Whenever you talk about premium ammunition, I don't think it's going to tell me the penetration on the website. I think that's kind of like an in-game thing that we have to look at rather than one that we can look at here. No, it does. So like you get 240 at distance, 263, and then whenever you compare it to the Valor, that 263 is actually like 280 something at the 500 meter mark, which is equivalent to the Valor. So you can really do this just to where yeah, iron, and then you put Deadeye behind it, which means that now you had the same penetration while still benefiting from enhanced critical damage at that distance, which would make it a required perk for a lot of tanks. For instance, here, yeah, 280. See, I was super close to 280. This would make them equivalent to one another in terms of penetration at that distance. So 263 would be around 280 now on the IS-7 compared to the Chieftain. So you would have around the same penetration as this at distance. And that's something that a lot of people don't consider. Then Deadeye, which only affects AP and APCR. Those are the only two that it affects. What do I think of the gun stabilizer equipment? I think the gun stabilizer equipment should be left the way that it is. And the reason why is because it's always been a 20% increase. The only effect that it's going to have on a tank is accuracy during rotation, right here, and accuracy during movement. Those are the only two things that gun stabilizer affects. So changing gun stabilizer and nerfing it, it is going to be, I don't see a reason to nerf vertical stabilizer, gun stabilizer. There's no reason to nerf that because it's the way it is supposed to be. But I do see that what we need to do is we need to come in, we need to look at snapshot and run and gun. These two perks, snapshot and run and gun, are the two perks that need to be readjusted again, because originally I can't remember if it was 5% and 7%, because they used to be really low numbers and now they're not. They were doubled. So we can say 7% and 5% on both those perks individually. Like turret rotation, 7%, moving, run and gun, so moving accuracy, 5%. If you do that, then gun stabilizer is completely fine to leave alone. Steady aim, on the other hand, is a broken perk. And speaking of which, this guy, looking at his account here, we can see that, all the mandatory perks. Armor angling, I don't see the benefit of armor angling, but track mechanic. Track mechanic is a required perk, okay? Along with that, it looks like this is a heavy tank crew. Yeah, it's got to be a heavy tank crew because he's using armor angling. Okay, but for instance, like, Mentor right here at the top left. Mentor is a perk that I kind of find to be hilarious just because it's a perk that whenever you put it on, it takes gold to remove. So now you're spending gold to remove a perk that helps you train the rest of your crew, which there's no benefit to that because you have commanders that are 30% bonus modifier, then you have tanks that are a 50% bonus modifier if you're going to be doing crew training on them, or you even have tanks that have 25% bonuses, and then you got tanks that are not the Crimson, but whatever the hell the other one is from the Crimson set. That goes from silver to experience, a 75% XP bonus. So tanks like the Earthshaker, the Demolisher, what's the last one? There's one more. Is it the Minotaur? No, Minotaur's silver. There's one more on that list, and I can't remember what tank it is. Can't remember if it's a heavy or not. But right here, looking at this, on the second screenshot here, the way that I look at it is willed mechanic is in the same category as pyromancy. So pyromaniac is essentially a useless skill because there's only a couple of tanks that it's actually viable on. Then you have willed mechanic. If they want to combine perks and actually make them worthwhile combining, track mechanic and will mechanic have to be combined. That's the way I look at it. Along with that, firefighting and preventative maintenance should also be combined. This is the way I look at it. Firefighting and preventative maintenance, if these two were combined, that would be an amazing skill set that I would not remove. That would become mandatory in a lot of my British tanks that I play. Because requiring two perks to handle that kind of sucks. And firefighting, everyone simply abandoned firefighting, but there's so many tanks in game that firefighting is an amazing skill on. Like on PC, you have people that it's all like, don't forget firefighting. You need firefighting. Here on console, we're all like, what's firefighting? So whenever I set someone on fire, I watch 200 damage roll off for one tick. Then I watch 80, 90, I watch 70, and then I watch it slowly tick down to the teen numbers until they're dead. Or they have no health left. Firefighting is a skill that has become irrelevant to us in so many ways. Now, while on here, Green Thumb, benefit to concealment behind, benefits to concealment when behind bushes. I find this skill to be absolute garbage. The reason why is because how many maps in game that we have that are in the open that we do not have bushes on? Sand River comes to mind. If I could log into the game, I'd tell you guys more. But Sand River is one example of Green Thumb being a useless skill. The way that I look at it is that Green Thumb should be combined with concealment. That way you benefit from additional bush coverage behind bushes while improving your camouflage with a single perk. Because Green Thumb, whenever people take it on, it's a useless perk. It has no fundamental usage within the game except for a very limited number of maps. When Green Thumb is finally useful, you're on Milanovka. You're on Prokhorovka. There are a couple of maps that Green Thumb is actually usable on. but primarily it's a useless perk. General Mechanic should also be, like, all these repair perks in general, the 10% and then the 25 and then the 15% for wheels. I personally feel like all three of these should be combined into one, just because General Mechanic no longer exists. No one uses General Mechanic. It's a 10% bonus. I use General Mechanic and Wheel Mechanic on my wheel tanks to get the same repair time as Track Mechanic, which means that I'm using 2 perks to compensate for 1, just to get that repair bonus. And then now that they're removing the enhanced target info, it means that I'm capable of, leaving Toolbox on my EBR 105 and my EBR 75 at tier 8 and putting on additional bonuses. Did you get the information? Which information are you talking about, Dino? There's a couple of things. Like, I'm going over like what I think that they're going to be doing. Oh, it's funny. List, dude, if you're still in the stream, that's exactly what I'm going over. It's hilarious. So, for this though, like, for Adrenaline Rush and Last Stand, honestly, you don't need to combine them. I find it to be useless. The tanks rebalance info. Oh, dude, I have some information on it, but I can't share any because I don't want to make any super testers get banned. I have a little bit of information, but I don't have a whole lot. And I don't know what I think about it, because I only have like a light tank. But I hope that whenever they do this, they don't mess it up. I really do. No, I got some. Like, I have a single screenshot. That's all I got. Because I outright told the guy, hey, look, I don't want any of this. Delete it. Oh, you have more than that? Keep it to yourself, Dino. Oh, hold on. Didn't you get banned? Send it to me. Yeah, you got banned from the super test. Send it to me. Whatever. I'll look over it myself, and then once the update happens, then I'll share all the information from the super test. And suddenly my stream's going to get a lot more, Wargaming's going to take interest in my stream, because now we're talking about openly looking at super test information. 5 screenshots that are super, super important. Oh no. Oh no. It might be an accident that I share them. Uh-oh. My finger. What's going on? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh no. Share him in my Discord, because there's like, nah, send him in a PM. An accident. Oh no. My finger's slipping. I'm sharing information that shouldn't be shared. But wait a minute, I didn't sign an NDA. Wargaming, if you put me in the super test, you won't have to worry about this information being leaked. Oh no. So, okay, real quick, the one thing that has come to mind that people need to think about. When this update rolls out, okay, matches are going to last longer. Matches are definitely going to last longer. Okay. The reason why matches are going to last longer is because everyone is firing slower. Everyone has 10% more hit points. Everything has all these additional bonuses and everything else that's going on. So you need to keep in mind whenever Wargaming sits down and they're like, oh, we solved all the problems. We fixed the matchmaker. It's doing so good now compared to how it was. You need to remember, they nerfed the reload of every single tank and they increased the health of every single tank. This is something that we need to keep track of. On average, we're going to see a 20% increase to time for matches because they're forcing us to slow down by lowering reloads. So this is something that Wargaming also needs to look at and understand, that you still need to take feedback from the player base. Just because you lowered the rate of fire of some tanks doesn't mean that's going to solve your problem. There's a lot of issues in game that still need to be resolved. So do not become complacent and blind because you think the problem is fixed when it's not. Through another person, so I don't know who the information came from, but it's verified. Dude, oh my God. All right, I'm gonna look at these real quick. Okay, that's some AVRE. Oh no, I shared some info. Are you kidding me? July 24th? Are you shitting me? No, 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 I completely disagree with this. No, that's not gonna fix it, dude. All right, Wargaming, I'm looking at this right now. I want to share this on stream. I really want to share this on stream. But I I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm looking at it right now and I'm going to say this. Do not decrease its goddamn reload. Nerf its alpha. That's it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Do not decrease its reload. Nerf the alpha. Do not touch its reload. That is the punishment for that tank. I'm pointing at my camera right now. Don't you dare increase its reload. Okay. Why? What? Okay, so that's okay. All right, I'm not too sad about that one. But the okay, I'm not too sad about that one. All right, question. Do I share this on stream? Should I show this off on stream and not care? Dino? Yeah, that's exactly what we were predicting. So, all right. This is what my game looks like. Let's take a look. Wargaming, if you're watching, yeah, if you're watching, it's very, very simple to find me on your guys' Discord. I got 5 screenshots that I can share right now. And I won't hesitate to share them because I have no problem doing so. I just opened all the links. They're all right here. All 5 of these screenshots. Okay. So the question is, do I share this? Wargaming. Because I guarantee you I got someone here watching. I'm not 100% sure if I do, but there's a very high chance. All right, yeah, we can do that. Let's do it that way. Do 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 do. So what I'm gonna do is this. Out of my way.